Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome, dear devotees. We are reading from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 1, Chapter number 12, Birth of Emperor Parikshit. We are discussing the pastime of birth of Parikshit Maharaj. We have covered up to text number 10, starting from 11 today. All right. Viduya tadame atma bhagavan dharma gubha vibhuhu mishato dasamasasya tatraivantar dade harihi. Radhika Mataji, you want to read translation?
Hare Krishna, everyone. While thus being observed by the child, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone, and the protector of the righteous, who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we saw yesterday how Supreme Lord enters the womb of Uttara and saves Parikshit Maharaj, and the description of how beautiful the form of Lord was. He was having 4 hands, wearing yellow garments, blazing gold helmet. He had 4 hands, blackish color, the size of a thumb. The eyes were red. So we saw the full description about the Lord and how Parikshit Maharaj observed the Lord, how he seen the Lord. And here, what it says in this specific verse, that Parikshit Maharaj observed the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, the super soul. But what happens? Immediately, Lord disappeared at once. He came in the womb, he saved with his gada, it was going in the round and round, we saw in the previous verse, but then he disappeared at once. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Supreme Lord Krishna, he is not limited by time and space. We can't appear somewhere like this. कहीं पे जाना है, if we want to go to India, we can't just appear out of nowhere and then we disappear. We can't do that. Lord can do that. Lord is omnipresent. So sarva-vyāpi hai, वो सब जगह है. As Prabhupada writes that it's not that Lord was not present there before. Lord is present everywhere. He just appears and he disappears. So even in the womb, when Lord disappeared from the vision of Parikshit Maharaj, the Lord still exists. Lord is everywhere. He is omnipresent. One should not think that from somewhere far away in the spiritual world, the Lord comes and enters into the womb and then goes back to the spiritual world far, far away. Lord is everywhere. वो सर्वव्यापी है, सब जगह है. So he is the child can see the Lord. He appeared in front of the eyes, Parikshit, and he disappeared. But that doesn't mean that Lord has gone. Lord is there everywhere. Can anyone think of the pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam where a person is asking, where is your Lord? And the devotee is saying, Lord is everywhere. He is present here. He is present there. He is present everywhere.
Narasimha.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah, see, Prahlad and Narasimha, same thing. Hiranyakashipu is asking, where is your Lord? Here, there. And Prahlad Maharaj says, he is everywhere. Kya tumhara Bhagwan his khambhe mein hai? Is he your Lord in this pillar? And then Hiranyakashipu smashes that pillar and Narasimhadev comes out. So Lord is everywhere. It's not that, and that is in Bhagavad Gita also it's mayā tatam idaṁ sarvaṁ jagad avyakta-mūrtinā mat-sthāni sarva-bhūtāni cāhaṁ teṣv avasthitaḥ. I am pervading everywhere. So this is what we have to learn, that Lord is everywhere. It's just his appearance, disappearance, he can be seen. That is the mercy of the Lord. But Lord is everywhere, wherever we are. Yes, Aruna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dharma Pranam. Prabhuji, as we say that, of course, God is omnipresent, but God can only be seen when there is mercy of God, or, devotee is really high up. He's been like, Prahlad Maharaj was asking for Krishna, for God all the time. So, or you have to do some austerity. Now, in this case, of course, we know Parikshit Maharaj is high up in devotion, but he could see the Lord. So how should we take it? Because he's still a baby. So it's not every child sees the baby, sees the God, and not
Mm.
every, like not everybody will be able to see the God unless there is a mercy, or you are such high devotee. So
Yeah.
how can we just explain that, Prabhu? Thank you, Prabhu.
Explain what?
It's
Like
Prabhu, I
exact.
will I could not understand that. So if you can explain that to me, thank you, Prabhu.
So in after 2 or 3 verse, I think 15th or 16th, it comes that why, even though Parikshit was a baby, like it's just in the womb, अभी तो उसने माला भी नहीं किया, initiation भी नहीं हुआ, सेवा भी नहीं की हमारे जैसा, we haven't done sadhana bhakti, but it comes in the future verse. 2-3 वर्ष के बाद ही आएगा that Parikshit Maharaj was a pure devotee of Lord. And he is taking birth not like us taking birth out of our karma. हमारे पुराने desires थे, we have unfulfilled desires, and based on our karma and our reactions, we are forced to take birth in a family, and we have to continue our life. It's not the case with Parikshit Maharaj. It is mentioned very nicely by Prabhupada that he was a pure devotee. The Brahmanas used the word spotless. He was a spotless devotee, and his appearance is like devotee appearing is a plan of the Lord. It's not a whimsical birth. And because he is a devotee, Lord does pastime with the devotees. We know that Lord does the pastime with the devotees. So he appeared and he disappeared. And why? It is also mentioned. Today only we are going to discuss that why Lord did this, why Lord appeared, why he had a darshan, and why Lord disappeared, to increase his hankering, so that the Bhagavatam is spoken. And Lord wanted the people of the whole world to spiritually uplift. Bhagavatam needed to be spoken. And Lord wanted, because Parikshit Maharaj, if you see, he was the last remaining Puru king. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was the last remaining. And Lord wanted Raj Rishi to rule the king. Otherwise, agar Parikshit was not saved, he hasn't had a darshan and he wasn't saved, then dunya pe Raj kaun karega? No Raj Rishi were left. He was the only remaining child. So all these things in next 2-3 verses, Prabhupada ke purport mein sab kuch hai. It's the Lord's desire and the for also, and he is just appearing. Is that make sense?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, yes.
Abhi aayega. Today we
Thank
will
you.
discuss all these things. Yeah, very beautiful. All right, let's move to text number 12. ततः सर्वगुणोर्के सानुकूले ग्रहोदये जज्ञे वंशधरः पाण्डुर्भूयः पाण्डुरिवोजसा. Puja Mataji, Vithalani Mataji. Translation number 12.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thereupon, when all the good signs of zodiac gradually evolved, the heir apparent of Pandu, who would be exactly like him in prowess, took birth. Hare Krishna.
So the title, as the chapter is, birth of Emperor Parikshit Maharaj. So now we are actually going, after 6 chapters and 2 months, we are actually going in the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. That when all the good signs of the zodiac, the astrological planets and all the alignments were proper, the zodiac signs, everything, and that particular time, the apparent Parikshit Maharaj takes birth. Srila Prabhupada explains in this particular purport that it is a great science, the astrological calculations, the positions of the stars at the time of birth, all this influences the personality. The person who is taking birth at that particular time, astrological alignments, kahan pe hai, the planets, the zodiacs, the stars alignment, everything takes affects the person's birth, the life of a person influences. And how these astrological alignments and zodiac calculations are going on is because of the previous karma or the actions of the soul. उसने जैसे भी activities किए होंगे, based on that, he is destined or he is designed to appear in that particular constellation, zodiac, astrological alignment, so that his life will be affected, influenced by all these calculations. Prabhupada says there's a very big, great science behind this. Even we see in a Krishna book, when Lord is appearing, Krishna is taking birth, the highest, the most, the best astrological alignments was there. The constellation arrangement was very nicely arranged when Lord Krishna was taking birth. So this here, particularly when Parikshit Maharaj is taking birth, everything was nicely, the astrological alignments, the zodiac sign was very beautifully, nicely, auspiciously arranged. Now, for us, whatever time we take birth, the astrological alignments are based on our previous activity. It is arranged by Krishna's energy. All this is done, and that's why practical lesson for us from this particular verse is it is very important for us to make sure we are doing the right kind of actions, because what we are doing now, it's shaping our future. Whatever actions we are doing in our life, whatever activities we are doing in love, that is shaping our future. हम आज जो करेंगे उसका रिएक्शन बाद में आने वाला है, and that's why previously whatever we have done, that is what we are getting it today. But now what we will do, that's what we will get in future. So it's very important what activities we are doing, what type of actions we are doing, what type of thoughts we are having in our mind, what type of dealings we are having with devotees as well as other people, because all this will decide our future. All these shapes in this life as well as next life, the astrological alignments. Many times people say मैं ऐसा करता हूँ ऐसा, you know, who is witnessing, who is watching. Sometimes if we break the law or rule here in this world, maybe a person can escape the material laws, but spiritual laws are very strict. Lord's arrangement, you may have heard about Chitragupt. You know, Chitragupt is witnessing everything. You know, everything is being noted down. Chitragupt, you know, even you see गाड़ी में हम जाते हैं, we take a car, we speed, and there is a camera, hidden camera, you know, on the road, left and right side. Here, Chitra means photo, Chitra, and Gupt means secret. There is a secret photographer, Chitragupt. He is a secret photographer. He is witnessing, recording all our actions, all our activities in our life. And Chitragupt, he doesn't miss anything. You know, he is writing, witnessing, and whatever activities we do, based on that, we will get the result. So it's very important for us to be aware of making the right decisions, doing the right actions in our life. That is what we learn from text number 12. Let's go to text number 13. तस्य प्रीतामना राजा विप्रैर्दौम्य कृपादिभिः जातकं कारयम् आशा वाचयित्वा च मङ्गलम्. Very beautiful verse. Rohit Prabhu, you want to read translation number 13?
Hare Krishna, everyone. King Yudhishthira, who was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, had the purificatory process of birth performed. Learned Brahmanas, headed by Dhaumya and Kripa, recited auspicious hymns. Hare Krishna.
Auspicious hymns, yes. So remember the storyline. What happened? Uttara came running to Krishna. He prayed. Krishna enters the womb of Uttara, and beautiful darshan Parikshit Maharaj is having of Krishna with the four-handed form, thumb size, and then Lord disappears. We saw in previous verse that the Lord disappears. After that, beautiful alignments of the astrological zodiac signs, and then Parikshit Maharaj takes birth. And then what happens now in this verse? That Yudhishthira Maharaj was very satisfied by this birth of Parikshit Maharaj. And he observed the purificatory process which is performed at the birth ceremony. By the purificatory ceremonies were performed by Brahmanas. What they do, there are in scriptures, there are many different samskaras. Even before the child is born, even when the parents are conceiving a child, they have a garbhadhana samskara. Garbhadhana samskara means where the parents, mother and father, they chant mantras, they spiritually get themselves uplifted, and they plan for a child. They pray to Lord Krishna, give me a devotee child. And this is how the garbhdhan, the samskara start even before the child is born. Now, here it is said, jata, what is that word used? Jata karma is the ceremony performed, which is after the child is born. Which is that the first time when the child is born, the baby is connected by the pipe, the navel pipe, to the mother. Until that time, um, the baby is considered as part of mother's body because the baby is connected. And when that cord is cut, and that is that time, this purificatory ceremony, this samskara, it's called jata karma samskara, is performed. What is that samskara? In that, a devotee, some Vaishnava, some Brahmana, they chant Krishna's names, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the baby's ear, because baby has just come to this world, appeared, and then this holy name, the sound vibration, is being whispered into the baby's ears by some pure devotees. The sound vibration, pure vibration, and that is called Jatakarma Samskara. There are so many other samskaras in the Vedic Sanskriti, which is Namkaran Samskara, when the name is given to the baby, Annaprashanna Samskara, the first grain ceremony of a baby, Vidya Arambha Samskara, when the child goes to the school, Vivaha Samskara, when the child or the person is getting married. So all these samskaras are very important to be performed because they are called Vedic impressions. They help a person's life as well as the people who he is surrounded with. That kind of Vedic impressions, the samskaras stored in the mind, stored in the consciousness, and the person, because of that Vedic impressions, the samskaras, a person is leading the life when they have to make some choices in the life, when there are some confusing situation in life. These Vedic impressions, the samskaras, will help the person to make the right choices and to live the life in a very spiritual way. So all these samskaras are very important to ensure the consciousness of the person as well as people in general are spiritually uplifted. Srila Prabhupada's right that in today's world, this modern, so-called modern civilization has lost these samskaras, and that's why there is so much of quarrel and dissatisfaction in the society, because the spiritual upliftment has completely gone because of the lack of these samskaras. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I went to one person's house to do the Damodar Katha, and the 8-year-old girl, she was asking so many questions. Diwali, it was there. Then why do we have to decorate the house in Diwali? Why do we have to clean? Why do we have to do this puja in the house? Why is it required? Why do we have to invite people? What is the necessary? Out of curiosity, not out of complaining, but out. She was asking why we should do all this. Why should we do kirtan in the house? But there is a reason behind everything. The samskaras, the impressions, the consciousness gets uplifted. And what about us? Now we learn that, oh, garbhdan samskara karna chahiye, wo to kiya hi nahi, abhi kya karenge? Namkaran samskara, vidyaram samskara, annaprashanna samskara, we haven't done. What to do now? No problem. No, better late than never. We can also invite devotees, do kirtan at home, chant our rounds, and stay connected with Krishna, and Krishna will look after everything. Because the whole point of all this samskara is to elevate spiritually, and there is there is no better day than today to become more serious, spiritually advanced. So once we do that, then all our samskaras jo humne galti se or because of some situation we haven't done, it will be all looked after by Krishna. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam saranam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshashyami ma sucha. Don't worry about all these things. Come, take shelter of me. I will take care of everything, Krishna says. So very important of all the samskaras. We will see how Yudhishthir Maharaj is inviting Brahmanas to do these samskaras. Text number 14. Let's begin. Hiranyam gam mahim graman hasti aswan nriptervaran pradat swanam cha vipribhya prajatirthe satirthavet. Shweta Mataji, you want to read translation? Number 14.
So, Prabhu Hare Krishna. Upon the birth of a son, the king, who knew how, where, and when charity should be given, gave gold, land, villages, elephants, horses, and good food grains to the Brahmanas.
Wow. So this is part of the ceremony, samskaras, that at the time, very auspicious festival, birth of Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj is giving charity to the Brahmanas. In even today's society also, when a child is born, people distribute sweets. Sometimes they invite Brahmanas and or they come to the temple and give some dakshina. So this is very in a still followed in a Vedic Sanskriti or civilization. But here, the very important thing which is mentioned here is the king who knew how, where, and when to give charity. चैरिटी किसको देना चाहिए, कहाँ देना चाहिए, कैसे देना चाहिए, दैट इज ऑल द किंग न्यू, एंड दैट्स व्हाई ही वाज गिविंग. एंड क्या दे रहे थे, देखो, गोल्ड, लैंड, विलेजेस, पूरा पूरा विलेज दे रहे थे, एलिफेंट्स, हॉर्सेस, फूड ग्रेन्स टू द brahmanas. He was giving all this charity. 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in our Bhakti Vriksha, last month only we discussed where to give charity, in what mood one should give charity, whom to give charity. All this is mentioned in very much detail. Charity in mode of goodness, charity in mode of passion, charity in mode of ignorance, and charity in mode of pure goodness. All this is mentioned. We have discussed in our Bhakti Vriksha as well, that it is very important कि हम charity किसको दे रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि just we gave to someone charity and our job is done. How that person will be utilizing the money, we don't care. Charity should be given to the person who deserves, not to the person who needs it. Here it is said the Yudhishthir Maharaj is giving charity to the Brahmanas. Prabhupada writes in the purport, Daridra Narayan, or charity to the poor people or the needy people is never, or the big significant charity to the poor people or the needy people is never mentioned in any of the scriptures. ऐसा नहीं कि गरीबों की सेवा करो तो चैरिटी हो गया. Charity must be given to the spiritual. Prabhupada explains so wonderfully in this, how to give charity, when to give charity to the spiritual people, to the Brahmanas, so that they can be looked after nicely and they focus. When the charity is given to Brahmana can focus on the spiritual upliftment of the whole society. Previous ages, it was so beautifully done. Kings used to give so much charity to the Brahmanas. So the Brahmanas don't need to worry about working, don't need to about earning money. All they do is study scriptures and do katha, elevate spiritually people and help with the spiritual question answers of the society. So because the Brahmanas are looked after nicely by the Raj Rishis, the kings, and in return, the Brahmanas looked after the spiritual welfare of the king as well as all the citizens. In today's world, that system is lost. Brahmanas are not looked after, and that's why Brahmanas have to work or get the money and earn the livelihood, and that's why they are not being reciprocated by the spiritual upliftment as well. So it's a very that system is completely lost. But we have to understand, sometimes people say manav seva hi madhav seva, serving the poor people is it is equal to serving the Lord. गरीबों को खाना दो, भूखे को खाना दो, और जिसके पास घर नहीं है उसको घर दो. All these people they say, but it's not mentioned in the scriptures में बना है only spiritual person should be given charity. That doesn't mean we don't help the people who are in need. We help, but while saving the body, we have to make sure we are saving the soul as well. That means if a person is hungry, instead of giving a food, we can give them prasadam. Because what happens, that will help a person not only uplifting or nourishing the body, but nourishing the soul as well. So, and that's why the biggest charity is to give spiritual knowledge to someone, and that is what actually a person needs, the spiritual upliftment. So sab dukho ki ek dawa, sab jad, the root cause of all problems, the hunger or this poverty or everything, the root cause is spiritual knowledge, ignorance of spiritual knowledge. And when the person has the connection of soul with super soul, all the problem is gone. So who to give charity, when to give charity, that is what we learn from this. In this particular verse, Yudhishthir Maharaj is giving charity to the Brahmanas at the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. 15 and 16 we can do together. Prabhupada does not provide the purport with the text number 15 as well. Someone wants to read? I have been reading. Anshul Prabhu or anyone?
Hare Krishna, Danvat Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, all devotees and Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tamuchu brahmana stushta rajanam prashrayavan prashrayanvitam esha hi asmin prajatantau purunam pauravarshava. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The learned Brahmanas, who were very satisfied with the charities of the king, addressed him as the chief amongst the Purus and informed him that his son was certainly in the line of descent from the Purus. Hare Krishna. Next one, somebody I want to read? Devena pratighatena shukle samsthamap upeyushi rato vo anugraharthaya vishnuna prabha vishnuna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Brahmana said, the spotless sun has been restored by the all-powerful and all-pervasive Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, in order to oblige you. He was saved when he was doomed to be destroyed by an irresistible supernatural weapon. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Saruna Mataji, in this one, 16th purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that the child was a pure devotee of the Lord, Sri Krishna. And two reasons, Prabhupada writes, two reasons why Parikshit was saved in the womb. Why his appearance? Because first is he was a great devotee of Lord. He is spotless devotee of the Lord. And the second reason is he was the last remaining descendant of the Puru dynasty, the Puru king. He was a spiritual king. Raj Rishi and Lord wanted him to rule the whole world because Lord wants everyone's spiritual upliftment. And that's why Lord wanted him. And that's why. So his birth is not like our birth. From the Puru dynasty, he has to look after the spiritual well-being of everyone. So very important here that, see, even the learned Brahmanas, they were very satisfied with the charity given by the king. Did I mention the charity, the analogy of a rich father and the child is lost in the fair? Did I mention here?
No, not here.
See, here we see the charity has to be given to Brahmanas. Prabhupada writes in the previous verse as well that the charity should be given to the devotees, and if we want to help someone, we have to help in spiritual way, not material way by giving some money or anything. And to explain this, Srila Prabhupada has given a wonderful story that imagine there is a rich father and his son is lost somewhere on the street, and then maybe he goes on a camping. For example, the rich man's son, he's going on a camping, and out of in the forest, in the bush, he was doing a bushwalking and he got lost. Now when by wandering around, he comes on the road and you are driving on that road and you meet this child. Now this child is hungry. First option is you can give him a nice food and you continue driving. The second option, this person, this child has no shelter, then you can give a good shelter to that person and you can keep on driving. The third option is the person is sick, this child is sick because of in the forest he has nothing to eat, he was malnutritioned and he was sick because of the cold weather and everything. You can give him a medicine, you can give him some cloth because he has no proper clothes. So we can give that person a medicine, we can give that person a cloth, we can give that person a shelter, we can give that person a food, we can do all these things for a child. But the best thing to do for that child is to connect him back with his father, because his father is very rich and he is son of that rich father. And of course we can give him food, of course we can give him cloth or medicine or house, but the best thing for us to do for him is to connect back with his father. And once he is connected back with his father, all his requirements of the food, medicine, shelter, clothing, everything else is being sorted by the father, because all we have to do is just connect back to his father. In the same way, the problems of this world, Garibo ki seva karo. Yes, the problems are there. But if we focus on connecting everyone back to Krishna, Krishna is like a rich father. He is the Supreme Lord. All the souls are connected with Krishna, then all the necessities, all the requirements are being fulfilled. And that's why the spiritual charity is the best charity. Everything else can be temporary. अभी सुबह किसी को खाना दिया, afternoon में फिर से वो hungry हो जाएगा. But if we give them the chanting, if we give them the connection with Krishna somehow or other, then it will be the best charity done by us. And here, while Yudhishthir Maharaj is doing charity to the Brahmana, they are satisfied and they are saying, this spotless son has been restored. See, this spotless son has been restored by the all-powerful, all-pervasive Lord Vishnu and the personality of God. Here Krishna is mentioned as Vishnu because Krishna, as a personality, he is happy herding the cows in the forest of Vrindavan. All the maintenance, protection, all that work is done by Krishna's complete plenary portion, expansion in the form of Vishnu. And that's why it is mentioned Vishnu here, because the protection is done by in the form of Vishnu. This is, see, this is the Lord's arrangement that Parikshit Maharaj is appearing. It's not by the previous actions of Parikshit Maharaj that he is taking birth. This is Parikshit Maharaj appearance is because of the Lord wanted his mission to be fulfilled. There is a mission that needs to be fulfilled, and Lord, that's why Parikshit Maharaj is appearing. In our life also, appearance of saints. Prabhupada writes wonderfully. If you read this purport, Prabhupada explains that the saints' appearance, the sages, Maharajas, the spiritual masters, all the great spiritual personalities, their appearance is to fulfill the mission of Krishna. It is Lord's arrangement. And that's why when it's Lord's arrangement, Lord will surely look after. In our life also, devotees' appearance, devotees entering, doesn't have to be coming like this Parikshit Maharaj in the womb and Brahmastra and all these pastimes, but just a devotee's appearance, that will completely transform our life. It is the mercy of Krishna. We have to understand as a mercy of Krishna when a devotee is connected to masters, saints, or even Prabhupada's teachings we are having in our life. Somehow devotee connection happens. It is Lord's arrangement to save us. That is what we have to understand. I will stop here. Yesterday only, most of you know Bhaktiman Prabhu. Bhaktiman Prabhu is a head pujari of Melbourne Temple. Is 35 years he has been serving, and before that he was in Vrindavan being trained up how to do this puja worship. I was talking to him yesterday, and I said, Prabhuji, we see you so many years until, when I was born, you were already in Vrindavan and serving like 35 years, 40 years. How did you meet in connection with devotee? How did you come into Krishna consciousness? And Bhaktiman Prabhu said that once in Nepal, when he was a small boy, 12-year or 15-year-old boy, he went to the market in Nepal and he was shopping some vegetable market. कुछ नहीं, no devotees, nothing, कुछ, no knowledge, spirituality, Bhagwan, कुछ भी नहीं. He was just in the vegetable market, maybe 12 or 14-year-old boy. And he said the temple president at that time in Kathmandu, in Nepal, he was also shopping for Krishna's bhoga preparation vegetables. And he was arguing, price haggling hota hai na vegetable shopping ke time pe, he said that particular they were buying a muli or radish or something, and he said, the shopkeeper asked 50 rupees, and the temple president said, 10 rupiye mein de do, it give me for 10 rupees. And Bhaktiman Prabhu said, I was also doing vegetable shopping. I was just standing there, and that was his first connection with a devotee. I mean, he didn't know he was a devotee, but he said, 10 rupiye mein de do. और बोले भगवान के लिए है, the president said. And the shopkeeper said, 50 रुपये का है, मैं 10 में कैसे दे सकता हूँ? And Bhaktiman Prabhu, like, his name was Bhimsen. His real karma before initiation, his name is Bhimsen. And he was standing there and he said, 50 रुपये की चीज 10 रुपये में कैसे मांग सकते हो? And the president said, ये भगवान के लिए है, भगवान के लिए भोग लगने वाला है, इससे हम सब्जी बनाएंगे, मूली की सब्जी बनाएंगे। Then Bhimsen, now Bhaktivar Prabhu, he responded, भगवान तो मिश्री खाते हैं, भगवान तो खीर खाते हैं, भगवान मूली थोड़ी खाते हैं. He will not eat radish. And then he was arguing and he said, I have never heard भगवान मूली खाते हैं. And then he said, oh, the president said, okay, what is your name, child? You are very curious, you know, आपको ज़्यादा जानने का तमन्ना है. You want to learn more about Lord. And then he was asking some more question. And, you know, this pastime happened. And he said, then the president, he said, my dear child, I want to meet your parents. Where do you live? You know, who is your mother and father? And then and the president of the temple, he was he went to meet mother and father, and they said, your child is very intelligent and he wants to know more. Can I, you know, association of more devotees. And then soon after some time, he joined the temple, he joined the ashram, and from there, he was sharing his pastime. We had like a Leelamrita book, you know. If you hear his story, he went to Vrindavan, he was staying in Vrindavan, then he came to Australia, he was living in the Brahmachari ashram, and now he is a head pujari. It's so beautiful. But the point I was connecting here from this is appearance of Parikshit Maharaj or appearance of a devotee in our life. जैसे भीमसेन और भक्तिमान प्रभु की लाइफ में, just in the vegetable shopping, just one interaction, 10 रुपये का price haggling हो रहा है, but what an amazing mercy Krishna has by sending a devotee in the life. The whole life is transformed. Now he is a head pujari. You know, you see, and his son is in Vrindavan. His daughter just got initiated last month. So glorious family, so beautiful. अरे इसका recording हो रहा है, I forgot. I hope he doesn't listen. But in our life also we see somehow or other appearance of devotee happens, and that is Krishna's arrangement. And here also birth of Parikshit Maharaj, that is Krishna's arrangement. So we'll stop at 16. We'll start with 17 tomorrow. Thank you so much.